What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Monday, y'all. Happy Monday. I hope everybody is having a wonderful start to their work week. I know I am. Yeah, I'm good. I didn't go on my morning walk because I had things to take care of around the house. I need to cut my grass. I feel like, that's probably going to be on my list of things to do this evening. Ooh, the hay fever. I think maybe what I'll do, honestly, is teach my daughter how to cut the grass. We gonna pass it on. Good morning, Elsid. Elsid is driving, but she can't participate. But I know she's here, and that's all that matters. We gonna miss your input, Elsid. But before she gets on this road, for if she already on the road, she wants y'all to like, share, and subscribe. It's the thing to do. It's very important. We be working hard over here. I don't know about you, but YouTube, I feel like at this point, because I've been here for a while and my growth has been very slow, and that's okay, because I'm not, I don't run away from putting in the work. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to, turn into something that I didn't even know I was going to be. You know what I mean? So I'm still kind of in a discovery phase. I feel very comfortable, honestly, in my she pulling off y'all now, y'all. Safe driving. Have a safe trip to wherever you're going, Elsie. We gonna be talking about you and ain't behind your back because you in the bushes. So if I mention you, it's gonna be all good. Um, but yeah, I guess like I'm in a phase of growth in my life. Um, I guess when you get to the end of a decade, um, and I'm at the end of a decade, you start looking towards what's new, what's next. And like I said before in the past, I'm going to always stay green. I'm going to be green because if I'm not green, I'm not growing. And so I'm in a very green stage in this next phase of my life and discover myself here. And this has become part of my life. Being over here on YouTube is not something that, like I said, I knew was going to be a thing. But, I say all that to say hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because I'm still over here trying to grow. I'm green, I'm trying to grow, and I'm always trying to put out content, that I can be proud of. So and I appreciate y'all for being here with me to talk about these things and help educate me on things that I don't know about. I have learned a lot just doing this because it's made me research things in a way that I wasn't before. So, yeah, I don't claim to know a whole lot, but I do like to know, what's going on out here in the world. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get into the things that are the things that we do over here on Coffee Talk, where we discuss current events. We discuss a little bit of celebrity gossip, and we discuss things that are excellent and black in history, both of those things. Good morning, T. I already had my coffee this morning. I didn't walk, but I'm on some type of ocean spray juice. I don't like it, but it's gonna have to do. Anyway, where was I at? We were getting into the things. We got some things to discuss. It's a lot of that has happened over this weekend, and so rather than try to squish it all in today, I'm gonna spread it out a little bit this week. But we can go ahead and start here. Like I often do. A Black mom launches Honors House, an animated children's series coming to YouTube on June 26th that puts a Black boy in the lead role. I love this. If you got little ones in the house, we've talked about it before. Representation is important. So I'm going to go ahead and check it out because I spent a whole lot of days, a whole lot of time during my day with Miss Rachel and, Elmo, and as this young boy grows, I would like to have some other programming. Anyway, um, meet Renika Lowry, founder of Honors House. As a mom, she realized she couldn't find a children's show with the little black boy in a curious, confident leading role for her son to watch. So she's created what didn't exist. Honors House is a Black owned children's brand built to help kids feel seen, confident, and proud of who they are through storytelling, music, and early learning experiences. What started out as one book, ABC Shine Like Me, is now growing into a full animated series coming to YouTube June 2026 for kids ages 2 to 8. It says, whoop, her Kickstarter is live today, which I don't know what day this is. This was 2 days ago. So anyway, her Kickstarter is live today, giving you a chance to pre-order the book and merchandise before the official release. This representation is our for our babies. Support her. I will be looking for her. Like I said, I'm always looking for programming with representation. Honestly, I think it's something we we think about it now more because when I was a kid, I didn't realize it was a thing, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit tomorrow too. I want to go in a little bit deeper about the whole Cloud Bob conversation and some of the women that I remember as a child. Anyway, I like this idea. I will be checking it out. As far as the book is concerned, I'll purchase that too because I think we need to go back to physical books. Um, a lot of people do, but reading is important. And I've told y'all that I be over here every day reading. And sometimes I have good days, sometimes I don't. Um, and the more you read, the more you know. So I would love to go ahead and check her out. I will be back over here to talk about it and give you my opinion on it. Me and T were talking about Jujubee the other day. Miss Jujubee is she's a kids, one of the learning channels. But my problems with her is, and then she's on YouTube too. I don't know about other channels. They took away PBS, and I generally find the programming on YouTube. It's just easier. But Miss Jujubee is a knockoff of Miss Rachel, and I don't like it. I wish Miss Jujubee, and now that she has this platform, I wish she would shift into something more authentic to herself. And so we'll see. I remember we had Little Bill, but Bill Cosby had to mess that up for everyone. Anyway, good luck to what's her name? Her name is Ranica. Good luck to Ranica. She's over here on YouTube, and I don't know, in terms of monetary, it could be a good thing. So, why not, spend our dollars, our YouTube view? All it takes is a view. And honestly, with these kids shows where you put it on and on and on and on, I can tell you why Miss Rachel is a millionaire. If she ain't, she damn sure is making tons of money on YouTube because she's constantly on rotation, but she's found in other places. So, this is the beginning, and I would love to see, what happens. Let's click on Honors Official. What happens? I did not click on that. Here's the page, Honors House Official. So, yeah, you could take an opportunity. I will a little bit later on and check out Honors page. This is very cute, though. Like, man, I feel like I feel like technology and things just keeps happening so fast. I'm sorry to keep scrolling. Honorshouse.com. I like to go ahead and explore with y'all so y'all can see it along with me. There's the link. Are we still sharing over here? Y'all have to let me know. Yeah, you can see it over here. Honors, what's happening? Okay, here we go. She's got books and things. So yeah, if you have a moment, if you have some little ones, take a minute and see what Honor is talking about. Like I said, we need more books, we need more options, we need more representation. So I'm here for it. Shout out to, like I said, Miss Girl. Miss Laurie. So what else we got going on? Is it a busy Monday for everyone? El Cid in the car, Tamika in the bushes. I'm over here, running my mouth. Okay, so this was a juicy one, and I just ran across it. Um,
So this was a
oh, I like to be in a multiple places so I can see what's going on. Okay, so let's just tell this lady's story. I found this one at last minute. So this is um it says her son died 1 year after birth. Her husband had an affair and fired her from the company she helped build. She filed for divorce, cashed out of a $3 billion deal and started over and became the first. I hate do you ever I hate these little floaty things. Okay. And became the first black female billionaire in US history. This is Sheila Johnson. Okay, so we know about Bob Johnson, ain't that his name? Her husband. But this little story is about Sheila. Haven't heard her perspective, so we gonna get straight into her story. Sheila Crump was born on January 25th, 1949, in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Her father was a neurosurgeon and her mother was an accountant. So she came from accomplished people. And this is 1949. Interesting. Is it just me? Or does it feel like people back then had more tenacity to get shit done than right now? I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Where is the outrage? Let me just get back to the story. Anyway, the family moved 13 times during her childhood. That has to be rough on a kid. You don't really get a chance to make friends. When you build friendships, then, you move away. So I feel like on one hand, it teaches you to adapt, but on another hand, it kind of um, doesn't allow you to connect with people in a way. But, anyway, her father's work took them from town to town. Sheila learned early that stability was something you build for yourself. You would have, yeah, I guess that's what I was saying. Like, her stability looks different, and it's okay. Everybody's walk in life is not supposed to be the same. I feel like we analyze every little thing. We're not talking about, like, I'm going off on a tangent, but while it's on my mind, um, I'm not talking about day to day things, but I feel like parenting has always, historically been left in the hands of the mother. However, the child turns out, good or bad, well, generally good, then the father gets to take credit for it because if he's there. But if anything that doesn't turn out right with an individual or just your kids judging you as a parent, you know what I'm saying? It all falls on the mother. I feel like far less expectations are made on the father, and anything that your kids are feeling about life, or how they turn out in life, the onus falls always on the mother. So, moving around and what that did to her, positive or negative, is going to be even though the father was the reason why they were traveling and moving, um, the mother is the one that's going to be held responsible for her experience. So, anyway, as a teenager in Maywood, Illinois, Sheila found her calling. She became the first African American to win statewide violin competition in Illinois. So these was uppity Negroes, like the people would say. They had education. She was cultured. I mean, I'm not laughing because I think it's funny, but her start was not necessarily one of, and we don't hear enough of that either. Like, we don't hear enough about successful people, from back in the day. It's always this good time struggle story that they try to, put in the media. So I think it's interesting that this lady was the founder of BET along with her husband, and then for BET to turn into, I don't know, booty girls grinding on cars in the middle of the night. That wasn't her fault. They sold it, so it turned into something different. But she rose to concert master, concert master of the Illinois All-State Orchestra. The music wasn't just her passion; it was the proof that she could compete at the highest level and win. Hmm. I wonder again if music lessons and things of that nature. Good morning, Lotus Egyptian Flower. Everybody on the move today. She got to run, but she's stopping. Girl, you come back for the replay. You definitely want to hear about this lady right here. Just, just a little click through, to see what she had going on, maybe minus all my jibber jabbering. Anyway, at the University of Illinois, Sheila lost her scholarship. She had chosen cheerleading over orchestra rehearsal and was kicked out of the program she had worked toward her whole life. I mean, or building on who she is as a person. Instead of quitting, she shifted focus. Cheerleading is like popularity and boys, so I could see where that would get in the way of her her being in the orchestra. But anyway, she graduated with her degree in 1970 and started building a new path. She was just getting started. After graduation, Sheila married Robert L. Johnson and moved to Washington, D.C. To make ends meet while Robert pursued cable TV, Sheila taught music at Sidwell Friends School. In 1975, she founded Youth Strings in Action, a 140-member youth orchestra. She was building community before she even built a company. I mean, she sounds like a go-getter. She sounds like, someone, she's out here getting things started. So wonder, how much influence she had on her husband, Bob Johnson, over here at BET. Her orchestra was invited to perform in Jordan. Sheila was appointed as a cultural liaison to Jordan for the U.S. Information Agency. She helped establish Jordan's first national music conservatory. King Hussein personally gave her the country's top educational award. She had not yet turned 30. Wow. In 1979, Sheila and Robert co-founded Black Entertainment Television, BET. The network was the first cable channel aimed at African American audiences. It seems unfortunate that she is no longer, like, BET is gone now, Paramount or whoever. Yeah, Paramount got it. So it won't be BET no more. They DEI'd the fuck out of BET. Sorry. Anyway, it's unfortunate that her influence was no longer there. She's an older woman now, but it would be so dope if somebody, like, her mind is not gone. It would be so dope if she's good at gathering people. Issa Rae, you know what I'm saying? Ava DuVernay, and all of these women. It would be awesome if they could get together and build something new. BET is gone, and based on the way BET went out, it's kind of unnecessary, honestly, to be attached to that. Good morning, high vibes. But it's unfortunate that her influence, like, imagine like how different it would have been. And we run to ignorance, so we got to take some accountability for that too. But I think there's a space for both. I think there's a place where we can be educated and entertained at the same time, and let Zeus do whatever it's gonna do over there. Even this, like, this little it's a YouTube channel. We could call it a show. We haven't seen it yet, but even with the new kids show that's going to be on YouTube that I just talked about, even if you incorporate some of that, you know what I'm saying, so the kids can get some education. We'll see what happens. It seems like she shifted her life altogether, but what an interesting lady to be hiding behind Bob Johnson. I don't know. All I know about him doing is being the owner of BET. So, I haven't looked for his story, but her story is definitely very interesting. Sheila helped shape this direction, creating programming like a talk show addressing real issues facing young Black Americans. She was creative conscious for the network. Well, the conscious left the building without her. Behind the scenes, BET's early years were far from smooth. Sheila's newborn son died soon after birth. She struggled with infertility. A BET executive embezzled $2 million, And her sister-in-law embezzled from the company too. Sheila kept showing up every single day. I don't think they wanted her there, to be honest. Then came the worst betrayal of all. Sheila discovered Robert had been having an affair with BET employee. She found out when she was served with a lawsuit. She confronted him. He fired her from the company she had helped build from nothing. Ain't that how it go? In 1999, which is when BET took a detour, in 1999, BET was sold to Viacom for $3 billion. Sheila walked away with her share. At least she walked away with her share. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a story where Sheila put in work and didn't get her coin. But she also walked away from a marriage of 33 years, a company she helped create, and a public identity she built alongside a man who had erased her from the story. That's what they do. I mean, it's not good out here, ladies. We got to be strong. After the divorce in 2002, Sheila fell into 2 years of depression. I would imagine so. 33 years is a really long time to be, matrimonied in a relationship with somebody and be entangled in a company and business, which, is a whole nother level. She relocated to Middleburg, Virginia, and brought a 349-acre farm. When you got $500 million, she had no plan, only land, money, and the will to rebuild. Slowly, she found her footing again. In 2005, she founded Salamander Hotel and Resorts and began turning that farm into a world-class luxury resort. This time, everything was in her name. I know that's right. Don't they have a daughter, or is that just Bob's daughter? Because she lost her child. She founded in Middleburg Festival. She founded the Middleburg Film Festival. She became a global ambassador for CARE, raising over $8 million in 2007 for women living in poverty. Wow. She founded the Sheila C. Johnson Design Center at Parsons School of Design in New York. Parsons is gone, I think. She built institutions the same way she had always done, from scratch. She's like my new hero this morning. In 2023, Sheila published her autobiography, Walk Through Fire. I'm definitely going to be purchasing that. She told the full story, the betrayal, the grief, the depression, the reinvention. She didn't soften any of it because she knew that was part of other women. That was the part other women needed to hear most. Well, we need to talk about this book. What Sheila's story teaches us: your contributions will not always be credited. Build anyway. Dig that. Heartbreak is not the end. It can be the beginning for a real empire, or just your next chapter. The woman who gets erased from someone else's story can go on to write her own. That's what we need to be doing, writing our own stories, because Sheila walked away with her heart in pieces. She could have stayed in the background. Instead, she started over at 53 and built an empire entirely her own. If she could rebuild from that, you can rebuild from this. You don't need permission to start over. You don't need someone else's name on the door. That lady said you should be, what's her name? Emma Green said you should be over there down to the job trying to get a corner office at somebody else's company. That's what Emma Green said. Maybe her company, since she employs hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women, thousands and thousands. But this lady over here, Miss Johnson, said, your story isn't over because someone tried to write you out of it. Women who keep going are the ones who change everything. If you're ready to stop relying on income, build something you control, create long-term digital assets, build a life you deserve. You don't have to figure it out alone. The roadmap already exists. So, yeah, I definitely want that book. You read the autobiography? Of course you have. Well, I'm going to get into it and then we can talk about it because, yeah, she sounds pretty amazing. But when I started listening to the story, I was like, hold on a second. This is this the lady? I mean, what's her name? Deborah Lee. Is this Deborah Lee the one, that was over here cheating with Bob Johnson? Some bells start ringing. So, yes, child, this is the one. Was over here. I hate all these pop ups, so bear with me with that. Why? I knew that was going to happen. Remember BET? Okay, she was the CEO. Former BET CEO Deborah Lee is speaking out about workplace harassment throughout her career. Oh, she was harassed. In an interview with Good Morning America Tuesday, Lee discussed the alleged affair and subsequent retaliation she faced by former BET founder Bob Johnson, and why she chose to disclose it in her new memoir, I Am Deborah Lee. Oh, I don't want to read that. Let me keep reading. I wanted to tell that story because power dynamics are so important in a relationship, especially if you're having a relationship with someone you work for, who also is somebody else's husband. Did we talk about that part? We all know the potential pitfalls, she said. I worked for Bob Johnson for 10 years before we had a personal romantic relationship. Okay. He was a mentor and he pushed me, and he was responsible for a lot of my success. Hmm. I don't even want to read the whole thing. I just wanted to see if that's the one that was the CEE over there at BET. Child, the audacity. The audio is great because, oh, does she? She narrates. I don't have any audiobook. I think I'll do that because I'm still on the fence about whether I want um to listen to Brandy's book, but I love the sound of Brandy's voice. So I kind of want to get it. Good morning, Motown investor. E Troop, if I didn't say so already. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, High Vibe, and get that because I didn't even know this story until I saw it. But yeah, Deborah is over here talking about how she struggled to be in this position with this man that she worked for. He was married. And we gonna talk about these girlies, these weird girlies out here going into relationships with men that are already in relationships, and then you want to whine about how things went left. So, whew. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to put that on my list for sure. I thought that was an interesting story. So, at least she came out on top. I wanted to look at her resort though. So I pulled that up. Cause I mean, like when you're traveling and you're thinking of places that you just, want to check out, here it is. So this is her resort. She had 349 acres. Oh, you can do little pony things over there. Horseback riding. It looks quite luxurious. Golf. Where is this resort at? It looks pretty amazing. So, I mean, I didn't look at any ratings or anything like that. I just wanted to see. Welcome. Let's look at the gallery. Oh, fancy smancy food. This dining area looks a little dated. It looks a little, stuffy, just for my taste, but it's very nice. Caviar is very fancy, but I do think maybe some of the dining areas could be a little bit more updated. But it depends on where they are too. You know what I'm saying? Um, I know she says something about Pennsylvania. This is very pretty. Like just to expose yourself. That view is amazing. To have all these acres and what to do with it. So anyway, this is lovely. So yeah, the resort is Salamander in Middleburg, Pennsylvania. So if you find yourself in Middleburg, or if you have to visit that area of the country, Salamander Resort is over there. That's owned by the former wife of I don't even want to say that, former wife of BET. What's his name? Bob Johnson. Good morning, John Tony. I've been to Virginia, like, DC area. It's pretty up there. It's really nice up there. I feel like maybe in the fall would probably be a good time to go visit. John Tony got a laundry list. You could have just said, "Hey, y'all." I know you got to do your thing and let the ladies know that they're empresses and things. Love that. Woo, what else we got going on, y'all? That one came across. I'm so excited now because I really want to do some audiobooks. And what a good story. What a good place to start. I'm old school. And I feel like I need to read books so I can, get better at reading out loud. I've never really been embarrassed by that. Not since I was a kid, but I do want to try the audiobooks. Okay, so we talked about this in the past. Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders just approved Paramount's $110 million merger offer after Netflix backed out of the deal. And it's, interesting, that this lady popped up because her and her husband were, BET is over here now. Like they were the pioneers of television, that directed its entertainment towards Black people. Now, there's going to have to be a new wave and you ain't going to be able to call it BET. But BET is over here now. Warner Brothers Paramount. This merger is, I don't like it. Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders have approved Paramount's massive $110 billion merger bid, marking a major turning point in one of the biggest media shakeups in recent years. The vote gives Paramount a critical victory in its effort to combine two of Hollywood's most powerful entertainment companies, bringing together blockbuster film studios, television networks, streaming platforms, and valuable global media assets. Reports say the approval came after weeks of investor scrutiny and industry speculation over whether the deal would survive mounting competition and regulatory pressure. The road to the merger was anything but simple. Netflix had previously been in position to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery, but Paramount ultimately won the contest after presenting a stronger offer. I feel like this is BS and that they were never going to let Netflix have it. And this was always going to be the plan via the administration, so that there can be control over the media, not just on a level of, race. I feel like that's a fight we've been fighting, always fighting. That's, we figure out that part. But in terms of information and how it's put out there. So this, to me, I think is awful. Warner Brothers determined Paramount's revised bid was a better deal for shareholders, which led Netflix to back away from the transaction. That decision reshaped the bidding war and declared the path for Paramount to secure companies through a formal merger agreement signed late in February. Supporters of the merger argue the combined company will have the scale needed to compete more aggressively in the global streaming and content business. Paramount has described the transaction as a way to create next-generation entertainment giant with deeper liberties, broader distribution, and stronger leverage against rivals like Disney, Amazon, and Netflix. Talk about just in between two devils. Still, even with shareholder approval in place, the merger remains closely watched because final completion depends on regulatory review and broader financial integrations of such large transactions. Yeah, they're going to just change the laws around just to accommodate these people. What you say? Don't get between you and your pretty sisters. Okay, then that's how we rolling on Monday. We came over here with security because Judge Tony say he got everybody back over here. I appreciate that. Your boy, Donnie over in New York, he don't like it. He don't like it, and I don't like it. It says New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani says the Warner Brothers and Paramount merger should be stopped. It don't look like it's gonna be stopped, bruh. This merger is bad for New Yorkers 3 times over. Thousands of jobs at risk here in the city. Streaming bills going up as competition disappears, and 2 of America's most powerful media companies under one roof deciding what you watch and what you hear. Yep. Today, as Warner Brothers and Paramount shareholders vote, New York City is on record. This merger should be stopped. I like him. I was listening to the young boys over here, the Jams, and they broke down like he's been in office 100 days, and they broke down like what he has done in the 100 days that he's been here. What'd you say, Judge Tony? Netflix could have been the best buyer, but definitely would have raised its price. They're all going to raise their prices. So, it's better when we have options, and, we'll see how it goes. We left cable because cable was expensive and giving us the option to pick which apps that we wanted. Now we're going to be right back, with $80 bills just for, different apps. Or not me. I'm a ride with who I need to watch at the time, because half the time I'll be paying bills for apps I ain't even looked at, haven't even seen what was going on. But yeah, let me see. These are the boys over here breaking down what Mamdani has done since he's been in office for his 100 days.
Back the nigga who come from outside of the acceptable world of American politics and is now running the biggest and major American city in the entire country. Mm-hmm. And I can actually tell you what the fuck they've been doing. Mm. And I can actually tell you the impact that it's had, which is why I'll believe in some of the things that like I want to see change as well. Mm. This is from the article. Mamdani's actions include making it easier to cancel subscriptions. He was going after that, which saves niggas money. You can't just click the shit and then they cancel it at a random time after they already charged you.
Gotta put your fucking fingerprint in to cancel a subscription for fucking Instacart.
They'll let you, if you say I'm gonna buy this subscription for DoorDash.
Why do you have my biometrics?
These niggas will send you the notification like you should pay us for this subscription. But then when you want to cancel it, you gotta go through 8 different settings in the back. Most of the time, you're just not gonna cancel it. And that's
I hate that. I hate the fact that you can't just cancel subscriptions. And I like this that he's, doing something about that, because you should be able to exit just as easy as you went in. When you want to purchase a subscription, you just click the button, boom, it came out of your little Apple Pay or whatever you got set up on your, the phone or whatever, or whoever credit card, you to put in the system. Now every month money is coming out. Like I said, I have Amazon Prime trying to, take money out of my account. And I'm like, oh yeah, because I don't watch Amazon Prime right now. I probably did it to watch one particular thing. And now, I got to go follow the yellow brick road to find out how to undo the daggone thing.
That's how they keep your money.
I can't tell you the amount of times I've opened up YouTube and it said, hey, you should just renew your subscription. I'm like, I never had one.
Yeah.
I've never had one. I don't have YouTube Premium. Please stop asking me.
They want you to give them money.
But they equivalent to, what's that app that, Dropbox, that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. Bro, I did a membership to like
to get the storage.
Oh yeah. And I remember I canceled it and it showed me like 6 different screens. Are you sure?
Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Then they say why? Yeah, like why?
Tell us why. Give an explanation. Think about that.
Write a paragraph on why. Nigga, fuck you.
This is why
my money back.
This is why niggas like Mamdani and them can do shit that Democrats can't do, because you have to get. In order to see what the problem is with that, you have to step out of the capitalistic way of thinking for 1 second.
Yeah, which is make more money. And
is it okay that these niggas, that it's so easy for them to take their money from you, but so hard for them to give you your money back? You might not think that that's the worst thing in the world because it's legal. I'm still paying for this subscription service, but what does it do when you're not Alan on the Jam podcast and you're a 67-year-old granny? Who the fuck is clicking through these 8 screens to find?
See, that's the thing right there. Senior citizens be getting jacked. Whole pension be going on things. I remember back in the day when, Time Warner, I think, was the company. And I had just moved back to Florida. And so I went and worked over there selling Southern Living cookbooks. And you could tell, call center job. I feel like that was the worst job I've ever had. It was so stressful. But you could tell that these people were signing up for something that they did not know that they were signing up for. And they're just saying, yeah, sounds good. And then how do you get out of it? Woo!
Find out how to cancel the subscription. They just gonna eat that money off you. That's why everything's subscription. It's much easier to keep recurring payments coming that way. Who does that make money for? The upper class people, the people who own them things.
And for them,
that was something that they began tackling. Introducing a website featuring an easy to use map of childcare options, providing millions in funding for new public bathrooms, expanding paid time off, issuing warnings to businesses to ensure compliance, upgrading storm drains, catch basins, building new EV charging stations, suing employers who rip off workers. They announced lawsuits against like Burger King or fucking Starbucks. They won a big one with Starbucks, them getting like unionization.
This is all in 100 days. This
is all in 100 days. Universal child care proposal with Kathy Hochul secured $1.2 billion in funding without raising taxes.
Jesus
to
Christ.
do that. That's
where the money gonna come from, man?
Yep, that's rolling out this year.
He said 1.2 million without raising taxes. So, when people have the argument that they don't want to do things for the community because it's going to cost them too much money, there's other ways to do it.
Nuts.
He's also just announced the first launching of the public-owned grocery stores in New York City.
What?
They're building the first one in East Harlem. Yes, and on city-owned property that had been there. It was like a similar marketplace to where their last socialist mayor back in the 30s did the similar thing. And they
the 30s.
Back in the 30s.
The 30s.
So
and the shit with Kathy Hochul and them just clearing the tax.
We're gonna get to that. Zorn's one of his biggest proposals was doing the 2% wealth tax on the thing.
2%.
Kathy Hochul was like, yeah, the more you press me tax rich, the less I'm gonna listen. She just folded and announced that she was gonna support a tax on homes over $5 million. Like on second homes over $5 million that'll raise like $500 million or some shit.
We just talked about that the other day. And, these are people who don't even live in their house. They're just purchasing these mansions in New York City just for tax breaks. Well,
the fuck got a home over $5 million?
Second homes over $5 million.
Second homes.
$5 million.
Yeah.
You're taxing the rich. You just doing your shit.
That's the only way that she'll get there.
They'll leave.
If you
they're God.
They're God.
Civilization.
So let's talk about a lot of it, right? The thing is, the reason why I bring this up is because this is stark in comparison to what they said would have happened if he won this election. There are people gonna leave. He won't be able to get none of this when the socialist comes up against the realities of governance.
So, if you want to check out, I love these guys. Sometimes I'll have them on in the background because it's just so refreshing to me to hear young people with their ear to the streets and what's going on. But, he's done a lot already, Mamdani, while he's been in office in 100 days. And what'd you say, Tony? We moving and shaking with people in the over. Well, they didn't want him there, but the people of New York put him there. So, I wish we had some of those options here. I mean, I don't even want to get on a political rant, but unfortunately, we got to discuss some of the things that's been going on. Down to the ghetto White House dinner. They said the man was ghetto. He is definitely ghetto. They was down here, have pow-powing down to the correspondence dinner. I just want to note that this is the first time he's even attended the correspondence dinner since he's been in office. This is the first time, but he had to come in order for this performance. I don't care what y'all say. That's how I feel about it. So this is crazy. Says authorities say 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen is accused of targeting officials tied to DT's administration during the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, D.C. Officials claim Allen traveled by train. Okay, this right here. Let's just get into the details. He traveled by train from Los Angeles and was allegedly armed with a shot pow pow, a hand pow pow, and multiple knives when he tried to push through security checkpoint outside the ballroom at the Washington Hilton Hotel where Trump's cabinet members and media were inside. How did he, what was the, there's no metal control, what do you call it? Metal detectors when you get on the train. Like he's traveling on a train with all these weapons. I would just be interested to know, like, when you can't do that at the airport, so obviously he couldn't go in the airport. He decided to do it in a train. I want to look into that and find out, like, what are the security checkpoints? Like, I've not driven on a train, but I mean, I guess maybe they need to do better. Oh, I'm laughing because of the way they be telling stories. Police say Allen fired between 5 to 8 shots before being taken into custody. Now, where was he at? He just like broke wide in the hallway of the hotel in the lobby. He was not pow, but transported to a hospital for evaluation. This is why I know it's bullshit, because this man is brown. His hair is textured. That means he's not white. And so I want to know, like, since when have they been taking us for evaluation anywhere? You in a hotel lobby amongst all of the MAGA movement? Anyway, investigators believe he acted alone and was staying at a hotel, though details about his room remain unclear. What are the details? Like, why are these unclear, information? What are the details? You book a room, you go stay there. Where did his clothes go? He didn't come in there, obviously. Like, they took his clothes off. I see, I'm not sure he's naked. I don't think he's naked, but where are his clothes? He got no shirt on. He's down to the floor at the hotel. Anyway, federal officials say alleged writings on social media posts suggest that he held an anti-Christian views, but it's still unclear if Trump himself was the direct target. Child. Allen is now facing federal charges, including using a firearm during a crime of violence and assault on a federal officer. He's expected in court for arraignment on Monday. So I guess we'll hear more about this, moving forward. I don't know. Did he get it down to the courthouse already? We don't know. But I've had a harder time getting to see Missy Elliott and Busta Rhymes concert. They don't just let you just go to an Orlando Magic game. I can't carry all of this, but he down at the hotel where the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where not just the president, but other political officials are going to be there. And he just strolling in there with all of these. I don't want to hear what he has to say.
And I will say, it's not a particularly secure building. And I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's a much...
I'm not listening to him. He said the building ain't got too much security.
This speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired.
When has he ever been considered funny and entertaining? Here you go, you girl. What's her name? Erica Kirk. She's traumatized. She's leaving the building, So here's some of the footage. You see this guy standing here. And he just ran through there. What the fuck? I'm sorry. He just went running through there. I mean, We're going to watch it one more time. So security is standing there. Nothing is supposed to be happening because, you know, here he come running through the thing. This is not supposed to be funny, but I'm just so tired of them playing in our faces. Somebody posted him as teacher of the month. I mean, I don't know why he didn't do his job. Or he didn't do the job he came to do, allegedly. Anyway, yeah, they down here being ghetto. This young man was there, so he wants y'all to know.
By as we woke up this morning is seeing folks on the internet say that this was a false flag, that we are basically all in cahoots to say that this was staged. And I think as someone who, for all of us who was in the room, who had to jump on the ground, who had to text our family and friends and tell them that we're okay, calling our moms, like so many people in this country have done for decades. To see people say those kinds of things, it is frustrating and it's disturbing. It shows the issues that we have to try and fix in this country. And I think nothing taught us anything better than, you know, the importance of journalists being on the ground, in the room for moments of historic significance than last night, us all dropping to the ground and literally like 5 seconds later, phones up and around so that the American people get a firsthand account of what's happening in a room where the most powerful people, including the president and vice president of the United States, were at.
I saw something that, you know, the false flag, this was staged, is a big thing in MAGA world. But I'm hearing that from on my social media pages from people on the left also thinking that this was staged, that this was a false flag, that this was something being done on purpose. And hearing you speak, Eugene, if it's coming from the right and it's coming from the left, these conspiracy theories, it says to me that there feels to be a lack of trust in this country.
And empathy. One thing that I'm disturbed by as we woke up this morning is seeing folks on the internet say that this was a false flag, that we are basically all in cahoots to say that this was staged. And I think as someone who, for all of us who was in the room, who had to jump on the ground, who had to text our family and friends and tell them that we're okay.
Okay, I mean, young man, that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Because you would definitely not be in on what was happening here. You can be in the room and don't mean... You're definitely not in on the plan. Just a way for me that this man been running through the hallway like that. And Josh, I saw you say something about the security. Yes, there's always a casualty. They don't care about security. And, you know, they have to make it look real. We don't believe it. And young man, yeah, the journalist, you was there in the room, and I guess I would have been scared too. But I didn't see nobody running. You know what I'm saying? Was there many Black people in there? Because I know we be running first. You know what I'm saying? Find out what happened later. We'd be down to the corner. They would have had to have news down to the corner, been like, I don't know. I was in that building, and then I heard something say pow pow, and then I hit the deck and got the hell out of Dodge. A lot of people are skeptical because telling the truth has disappeared. Yeah, especially from them over there. We have seen multiple. I know I have. I'll be scrolling down my timeline, and often I see an ear that has been tagged by a bullet. And then they show Trump's ear, which is perfectly fine. Evander Holyfield got bit, and his ear is just, you know, a little deformed. Not Trump. You know why? Because he's not human. Maybe that's why. You know how those aliens, they can grow back, you know, their appendages and things. Maybe that's what's going on here. He's got to be an alien because nothing else makes sense. Whew. Yeah, we don't believe it. El Cid said the trust is broken. I mean, and on all sides, unfortunately, we can't believe nothing. We got to go check. when I see a clip by Elsid, I have to message her and be like, is that you for real or is that AI? Because we don't know what the hell we're looking at anymore. You say, I knew he was going to be black when Trump referred to him as a thug, and how these people are trying to change the the way of life. Yeah, I mean, he's black-ish, I suppose. More attempts have been made on his life this past week. You know what I mean? People be planning things, but this was the worst plan of all. This was the worst plan of all. You saw a sister running with her luggage? Yep. And we ain't see her on no newscast or nothing. She took her luggage straight to the airport and got the hell up out of there. I think it's interesting that Trump has not been to any correspondence dinners. You know what I mean? He has been prior to his presidency. It was a long time ago when he was over there smoozing with these dudes. But as president, 2 terms, this is his second term. This is his first time showing up. He had to show up for the performance. That's how I feel about it. Allegedly, I guess I'll say that. But, for me, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, sorry about it, homeboy. Teacher of the year, do better. First it was the AKAs, now it's the Deltas, child. Over here, not being pillars of the community like they supposed to be. So let's see. This is it says alleged audio of a professor at Albany State University and a student surfacing online as prompting an official investigation. In the recording, the professor, whose identity hasn't been confirmed, is heard going, why hasn't it been confirmed? Hopefully by now. This is 2 days ago. I feel like, stop it. The professor, whose identity hasn't been confirmed, is going in on the student over her alleged behavior in class, claiming she's acting like a bitch in that order, and accusing her of spreading lies to the dean about her. She's like confronting a student about an issue. I've been a professor before. I feel like once these things happen, once a student complains to the higher ups, you're not supposed to communicate with them moving forward. You're supposed to have all communication in front of someone. I feel like that's how that's supposed to go. So for her to have this young lady pinned up, having a conversation about her, telling on her, and if she was talking to me that way, I would have told her too. The professor then escalates the situation, allegedly threatening to call the Nationals and shut down the whole effing line, referring to the students' efforts to get into a Greek organization. So now you're going to block her from being in the Deltas because she don't like you? Because at one point, the student could be heard asking why the professor is in her face, to which the professor responds, because I can be. This isn't even how you handle that. I've had student situations before. I just leave and be like, hey, y'all, can y'all deal with this? Because I'm not. The professor also accuses the student of sleeping in class, stating, it's time to come to Jesus. It's time to stop your foolishness. You're not going to come into Delta behaving like that. I've been a Delta for 38 years. I know plenty of people. This seems like a teachable moment. As a professor, I feel like the conversation should go different, especially if you're a Delta and especially if this young lady is pledging. There's a way to handle the conversation. This sounds like 2 women in the street going at each other. Toward the end of the clip, the student claims the professor previously said she was using her dead mother as an excuse for her behavior. Wow. After the audio surfaced, Albany State University released a statement confirming the matter is under investigation and the faculty member has been placed on administrative leave. University leadership, fully aware of the situation, the incident is being addressed promptly and thoroughly in accordance with established university policies and procedures. Please know that the respect, safety, and dignity of our students remain paramount as we handle this matter. To ensure due process and careful consideration is given to the matter, the faculty member has been placed on administrative leave during an investigative process. So let's hear what she was over here saying to the young lady.
You're going to treat me fucked up and try to sneak into my organization? That's what you're trying to do?
What do you mean?
That's what I said. Do you not understand the words coming out of my mouth? Do you not understand it? You are trying to pledge Delta, and you're in my fucking class acting like a bitch. That's what the fuck you're doing.
Okay.
Let me tell you, the same way you ran into the dean with lies about me, I will call nationals and shut down the whole fucking line.
Okay.
You won't cross.
Why are you in my face?
Because I can be.
Well,
no, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
I will call your dean of pledges. I'll tell them your ass is sleeping in my class.
I wasn't sleeping in your
I
class.
have you on video. Your field instructor called me and said you were sleeping on the floor in the DFAC's office. It's time to lose the attitude.
I wasn't sleeping there.
It is time to come to Jesus.
Okay.
It is time to stop your foolishness. You're not going to come into Delta behaving like that. I promise you. You're not. I've been a Delta for 38 years. I know plenty of people. And plenty of people know me.
Okay, why are you in my face?
Because I can.
No, you can't.
Tell me I can't.
Because why are you in my face?
Because you want to sneak your little tail into Delta like I'm not going to find out and not know. And they're not going to know about you and what you've done this semester.
Okay.
So you think you were right in everything you've done.
Do you think you were right in everything
It's not
you've
about
done?
me.
But you said something disrespectful to me and you expected me not to react.
What I said that was so disrespectful to you.
We had already had this conversation, so I'm confused. You were very disrespectful. And to be a quote-unquote Delta woman, that is very disrespectful of you. For you to say what you said. You knew what you said.
What I said?
You said you need to stop using your dead mom as an excuse. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And you weren't even in here apologizing. So that was a fake apology because you knew what you said.
And so you feel that you're going to treat me fucked up and try to sneak into my organization? That's what you're trying to do?
What do you mean?
That's what I said. Do you not understand the words coming out?
Administrative leave, whatever. I realize they have to investigate things. I realize there's a careful way to maybe handle this situation. You are absolutely right, High Vibe. She was hazing that girl. And for what? I just don't understand. Like, what do we want our young people to be? And I think it's unfair to be who is this? This is some professor over at Albany State, I believe it is. And she's having an exchange. Yeah, she's at Albany State. She's having an exchange with one of the students. And apparently said to her, you're using your dead mother as an excuse. I feel like your position as a professor is to inspire young people. I don't know what the fraternities and sororities are being exposed, and they should be, because this is not, it's not okay. And as a Black woman, if the girl was sleeping, let's just say the girl was doing everything you said she was doing, you don't get to speak to her disrespectfully. I think it's crazy that you're supposed to always be in this position of a respect your elders. So you go say something crazy to me like you using your dead mother as an excuse, and I'm supposed to what? Not say anything, not respond? No, I don't think so. I think, I don't know. I guess the girl, I guess it's the student that's recording, but thank goodness. It's not a way to be a mentor. You're right, Elsa. It's an opportunity. Like when I first went to teach at the last school I was teaching at, they fired the teacher. It was like the way they handled it was trash. They actually introduced me to the lady I was replacing, and I'm guessing after I left, they fired her. and didn't tell the students. Like the director's job was to introduce me to the students, but she kind of didn't give them any real explanation as to what was going on. They left on Friday with their teacher, and then they come back Monday and I'm there. Now, mind you, this was their first block, so it wasn't that serious. They weren't that attached to that lady, but they were very much like, who is she? What is she doing here? You know, I didn't come into a situation with students anticipating me. And I feel like they split it up. You know, they split it up with another teacher that they were familiar with. That's how they handled the situation. But in the way they responded to me, I didn't cuss them out. I didn't come at them crazy. You speak to people respectfully. Now, if they're being disrespectful, that ain't on me. And I'm going to go tell like I said, the higher ups, like I have a student that's like uncomfortable with the situation. But the way she was talking, even cussing at her, don't cuss at me. You're my teacher. What'd you say, Elsie? Using her dad, mother equals she needs help. After the loss of a mother, compassion. She may be acting different. There's so many ways to approach that. But as a professor, that's your job. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that young lady is. And then like to use her position as a Delta. She said she'd been a Delta for 38 years. So you're just an old bitch. Sorry, not sorry. You said I'm convinced this is common through the D9. Well, it needs to stop because I feel like what is the point in pledging? I did not pledge, but what is the point in pledging if not to be on a next level, on a higher level, on in an organization that like what I thought it was supposed to be about with connections. And when I walk into a room and somebody knows I'm a Delta, it's supposed to work to my advantage. Not that I get the job, but that I have like a connection within, you know, a company or whatever it is that I'm trying to do. Oh, that was awful experience for the student. It is an awful experience for the student. And as far as what I could hear in the conversation, she got a lot more intelligence than that daggone professor that was talking to her like that. I hate this. The hazing, it sucks. There's so many ways to haze people. I feel like, and I hate to bring up your boy, the orange Cheeto in charge, but the show Apprentice, which I'm not going to give him credit for necessarily, except for the fact that he showed up there. But those challenges that they had, what is the show that Trump had? Was it You're Fired? Wasn't that the name of the show, The Apprentice, where they had these challenges in business and things like that? I feel like those are the type of challenges that pledges should have. You know, standing on lines, staying up all night, standing in the cemetery, all of that stuff is stupid. And then, you know, getting beat up and hazed, drinking until you know, are alcohol poisoned. That's not something to be proud of. And I don't think that's what they started the organization for. You said, sorry, this is also why I couldn't do D9, too many drunk off of power. I wasn't about to be able to do it the way, you know, I have a problem with authority. I have friends that have pledged, but I wasn't pledging shit because you couldn't make me understand why it was a thing. Now, if the challenges, like I said, were going to help me be better in business and, you know, there was some type of positive outcome, you know, then I could see. Even if you say you're going to pull an all-nighter like they did on College Hill with the celebrities, you're going to pull an all-nighter and come up with a business plan and then you're going to pitch it tomorrow. That's real life stuff. Making me, you know, drink till I die is not. That doesn't make sense. That's not even how you party. That's not a fun party. Lotus Flower said it's definitely a status symbol to look down on others. Jesse and I am somebody. I mean, hopefully there's, you know, we've been talking a lot about HBCUs and the money that's been pushed into it. Hands on the table. Mamdani is down here over in New York with his hands on the table. I appreciate that. Putting your money where your mouth is. Let's change what the organization has become because, like I said, I don't believe it started there, but let's change it to what it's supposed to be. If we're going to a HBCU, it's because it's Black excellence. That's what we're looking into. Come on, lady, show her face. We don't have to see the little girl's face, but show her face. And then I get under investigation, but you have a whole recording and you know that that's Miss Marsha down to that classroom. So let's see her face. We want to know who you are over there abusing the children down to the university. You said I gave my application back to Delta. They looked shocked and didn't ask me why I was no longer interested. They really play silly games. It's for the weak, honestly. People that really want to belong to something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say same goes for the AKAs, like, you know, the light-skinned community. They've switched it up a little bit, but, you know. And when you look at it, speaking of AKAs, you got Giselle over here, 50, you know, pushing 60 on Real Housewives of Potomac. You've got Wendy over here, both AKAs. Instead of them being a sisterhood, Wendy had to come over here and do this whole stupid light skin, dark skin game again. I would never. Y'all can miss me with that. You said that's a good idea. Business challenges. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And then you get rewarded for it. Make it make sense. Why am I belonging to this, you know, organization if we're not going to do nothing? Be involved in the community. And I would hate for this lady to be involved in the community down here, you know. That's traumatizing. That's traumatizing to say that to someone. Even if that's what you thought, it should never come out of your mouth that you're using your mother's death as an excuse. My mother been there 13 years, and one day I might wake up and that's the excuse that I'm not feeling it today. So show her face. That's all I have to say about that. On to the next. We ain't even got to the juicy stuff yet. Oh, this is juicy. Just when I think it's not juicy enough. Okay, so let's get over here. Miss Thing came over here. Paige Shiver is opening up about her years-long relationship with ex-University of Michigan head coach Sharon Moore. In a new interview with Good Morning America, the 32-year-old former assistant to coach revealed that during her inappropriate relationship with Moore, she became pregnant. Here go another one. You in an inappropriate relationship, but we supposed to feel sorry for you. I got pregnant, Shiver said, breaking down in tears. When asked if she wanted to keep the baby, she responded, yeah. She then explained that the pregnancy was complicated by Pompe disease, a genetic disorder that can lead to heart problems and muscle weakness. She said multiple doctors and experts told me that it wouldn't be right or healthy for me to keep the baby. Due to those complications, Shiver ultimately had an abortion. She also claimed that Moore was aware of the pregnancy and her decision, claiming he told her, you have to do what's right by your body. I mean, clearly he was in love with the girl based on the way he showed out down to her apartment. Shiver and Moore's relationship reportedly began in 2022 while she was an intern and later continued after she was promoted to his executive assistant. This is the same thing with this lady, Deborah Lee. Now you was working for the man and now he's promoting you to things. Now you're uncomfortable. Shiver alleges that she faced emotional manipulation and job insecurity while working as Moore's executive assistant, then quit, for goodness sake. She reported the nature of the relationship to the University of Michigan. Why? Why not just quit? I'm confused. I mean, if you're having an inappropriate relationship, I'm not taking away from any of the things that he did because he did that's wrong too. But if you're in a relationship with someone and it's not working out because you're cheating with this married man, now you want to go to the job. They didn't tell you to get in a relationship with him. And report what? What are you reporting? Now I see why people was taking his side. I am not. I'm just saying. She reported the nature of their relationship to the University of Michigan, which led to termination on December 10th, 2025. The same day, Moore was arrested after Shiver alleged that he broke into her home and threatened self-harm. I believe both things, just based on the way that these niggas been out here moving. I feel like he did do that, but I also feel like, girl, you could have just broke it off. Like, I don't know why are we going to somebody's boss because of something that you decided to engage in. You say she has no shame. Clearly not. If I was his wife, I want to come slap her upside her head. So who's going to tell the wife about this love child? He told her to just do whatever it is that she needed to do. You know what I mean? For her body. Child. Lotus is the one that sent me this story. Why did she agree to do the interview? This woman has so much confidence to be in the wrong, cheating with the married man, plus pregnant. Girl, go have a seat. Well, let's go ahead and listen to her, what she had to say, and then we'll continue. So this is her on Good Morning.
Relationship. Shiver learned she was pregnant by Moore. Pregnancy was complicated by Pompe disease, a genetic disorder that weakens muscle strength. Her doctors delivered the heartbreaking news.
Multiple doctors and experts told me that it wouldn't be right or healthy for me to keep the baby.
Did you want to?
Yeah.
Shiver says her attempts to end the on-again, off-again relationship were often met with what she calls manipulation tactics, including threats of self-harm.
Every time I tried to pull away, he always had a story, always had a way to pull me in and making me feel that I couldn't leave him because he was so miserable without me.
During their years-long relationship, Shiver learned she was pregnant by Moore. Pregnancy was complicated by Pompe disease, a genetic disorder that weakens muscle strength. Her doctors delivered the heartbreaking news.
Multiple doctors and experts told me that it wouldn't be right or healthy for me to keep the baby.
Did you want to?
Yeah.
Shiver says her attempts to end the on-again.
Okay, so she definitely used her pregnancy. She definitely used this condition that she claims the baby had as an excuse for an abortion. Let me see what y'all saying right quick. White girl tears, absolutely. Yes, his wife is not Black. Okay, here we go. Did she keep the baby in this political climate? She did not. She got an abortion. That's what she did. Yeah, child. She crying over the baby that she aborted with this lady's husband. What about that baby? El Cid, you thought you couldn't end things anymore? Well, I mean, it depends on what state you're in. So yeah, I did a little research. Because I was like, wait a minute, now what is this? So Pompe disease is a rare inherited lysosomal storage disorder caused by deficiency of enzyme acid alpha glucosidase. Forgive me, leading to toxic glycogen buildup in muscles and organs. It presents as rapidly progressing infantile onset severe muscle weakness, heart issues, or slow, late onset progressive muscle weakness and breathing issues. So it sounds like MS to some extent, but this is the thing. I wanted to know, can it be detected during pregnancy? First of all, you can live a life with it. So it's not something that one of those diseases that the doctors are going to, even I don't believe, be trying to convince you. She said she spoke to multiple specialists and they told her that it wouldn't be right. And that's when she got all choked up and decided that, she could. They told me, no, I don't think they did. So I wanted to see. This Pompe disease can be diagnosed during pregnancy through prenatal testing, and existing symptoms in a mother can worsen or first appear during pregnancy. Prenatal diagnosis for a fetus, it is possible via CVS, chronic villus sampling, or amniocentesis to check for GAA enzymes and activity. Fetal detection in some cases, Pompe disease can be, and it says in some cases, can be identified through fetal echocardiography in the third trimester. So they can't even detect this Pompe disease until the third trimester. So I don't know who's out here doing third trimester abortions, but some don't sound right, girl. Is Detroit, Michigan a pro-choice? I don't know. I know Florida isn't. You say, okay, if this is true, why does she have to plan B? So she had to plan B sent over there. So was it for that pregnancy? Or see, Good Morning America is over here letting her say whatever she want to say. Good question. Isn't that originally how, the cat was supposedly out of the bag because she was ordering a plan B through the DoorDash to his office? Sound like she wanted his wife to find out. And her sitting up here with these white woman tears is pissing me off. And I think he's trash. I think he went over there, but now I see why the stalking charge was dropped, because it seems like this is something they do. She said he always convinces me, if somebody keeps telling you they're going to off themselves, that's a scary thing. You should have more reason to distance yourself from them, because that's a dangerous state of mind to be dealing with from someone and to be in a relationship. Is she planning to sue? What is the reason for this interview? Because she needs us to feel sorry for her. And like I said, even in states where it's legal, I don't know of anybody doing third trimester abortions on a disease that's not life-threatening. It's debilitating. And it says, Michigan is pro-choice. Not at the third trimester, lying ass heifer. She need to cut that out. And let me see. It says management. While data is limited, some studies suggest that continued enzyme replacement therapy during pregnancy can be managed without significant adverse events for the mother or the baby. So, yeah, she spoke to all these specialists and they told her to abort a baby that's, in a situation that's treatable. She lying. I don't believe her. And so, yeah, like I said, I think he's trash too. And then he got his wife standing up, at the courthouse with him. So he went over there. They was doing the things they always do. Now, I think, was she thinking that, because we know how men respond. You got pregnant. He's married. You trying to act like, he was so understanding and told her you got to do what you got to do for your own self. And that, okay, she's married. She gets pregnant. He probably told her to get rid of it. She has the plan B. Plan B isn't even for after you found out you're pregnant. So what? She over here playing just as many games as he's playing. And then you go to his job. I'm now that I'm hearing her side of the story, I feel like a lot of what everybody was saying is true, that she's out here for a money grab. I don't know what she was trying to do, but I feel like in real life, when your side chicks say she's pregnant, the instinct is to say, get rid of it. And now she's claiming that this baby had a disease that wouldn't have even been detected unless, she was all the way to her 3rd trimester. That means everybody under the sun would have already known that she was pregnant. Y'all can miss me with all of this foolishness. I'm tired of people and their fuckery. These women out here that you're cheating with, for goodness sakes. There's some other stuff I wanted to get into. Some of it I'm going to just save for tomorrow. It's almost noon, so let's get into the good stuff. Kenya. So Kenya, yeah, they evicted her stuff. So Britt Eady is over here, filing court cases and driving past Kenya's business while all the furniture is outside. I'm sure y'all all seen over the weekend, all the boxes, all of the furniture, all of the things that Kenya had inside, that it even had some of the clothes that she had hanging in there. Britt Eady thought it was funny to go by. I mean, you're in the middle of a lawsuit, stupid. So I don't know how, the people are going to view that. I kind of don't care. I want Britt Eady to go away. Her and Kenya both are annoying at this point. So this is not a good look. We've talked about this before. Kenya Moore announces her hair spa closure after video surfaced of businesses being vacated. Promises new era after landlord dispute. Kenya says, I have spent the last several weeks moving out of my salon as a result of my ongoing legal battle with the landlord, who has failed to reimburse me nearly $80,000 of improvements funds, and I am rightfully owed. My only recourse was to withhold rent while filing a countersuit. I already have my outfit laid out for the court, child. I don't care what Kenya say. This is not a good look. And this is not somebody who was passionate about her business. Cam in the Ray J interview. Listen, I used to be somebody that was very entertained by Ray J. I'm going to go ahead and watch it. I had it on and I got distracted by some other things. But Ray J has been on Cam Newton's show before. But we're going to go ahead. I'm going to check it out. And if not for tomorrow, then, for the day after. Because, like I said, after I come off of the weekend, it's so much stuff. And, I can't have y'all here till 2 o'clock. Poor Kenya. We were rooting for you. Listen, I've said from the beginning, it does not make sense to be investing that much money. When she said she poured $400,000 into this business and, her daughter's college fund went into this business, if she had poured $400,000 into owning the business, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But to me, to put that much money into somebody else's property, it doesn't make sense. Thing one. Thing two, this is the same thing Angela did over there with them 5 houses. Kenya was so focused on being large and grand when she should have started on a smaller scale and focused on selling her product. You can't, the beauty of the building is not how you make money. And you can't get stylists in there. That's how you make money. And if you don't have stylists in there that have a clientele to keep the ball rolling, it's not going to happen. And that salon had, I don't know, it was a lot of chairs in there, and you're lucky to be able to get 4 good people, let alone filling those chairs up. And it's possible because I feel like a lot of stylists could have benefited from being attached to Kenya Moore and the name and all of that. But she wasn't there. She wasn't putting the effort in. I don't know. Her talking about she moved out don't look like it because her furniture was outside the building. And that's not a good look ever. You know what I'm saying? So people, this is, what did Trick Daddy say? I'm going to have to pull that up. This is besmirching her reputation. defamate. She defamating her own reputation, starting with Britt Eady. That's where it all started. For a commercial rental, they do not owe her permanent improvements. Yeah, it's a commercial building. She went in there, and at the end of the day, you got to follow through. She says she filed a countersuit. You file your countersuit, but you don't withhold the money. That's not how that works. If you withhold the money, then you get evicted. We've been hearing about this. Her acting all nonchalant like it's not a big deal. Kenya was out of the country. She's over in Japan. I don't know if she still is, but when this happened, Kenya is in Japan with her daughter. So now imagine you out of the country and all your stuff is on the curve. And I've seen many different angles of this with this fool driving up to the building. But we seen Mark Daly out there. Like, there's people out there that are loading the stuff. There's security standing around so that people don't take her things. This little bit that they're showing in that part of the video, that whole front of that building was full of her stuff from inside the salon, the chairs, the mirrors, that's all money. So were you really moving out? The fact that she wasn't there when she got evicted lets you know like how much she cared about this, salon. So she probably won't do it again. These people over here, and I have been a victim of people who think it's cute to have a salon and don't know the business, don't know how the industry works. You say, I'm pretty sure she had that day, everything that had to be out of the building. She did. She didn't care. I think she's doing some other show. Not Bravo, it's E! Channel, reality show though. I'm disappointed. I feel like this was the one thing that Kenya could have done and done well. But unfortunately, here she is evicted and out on the street. And so, yeah, next chapter, I don't want any parts of her next chapter. Now she can't even go to Bravo. She can't even go do that because of what she did with this clown Britt Eady over here. So sorry about it, Kenya. I've never really been a Kenya fan, but I did, start feeling a little something for Kenya. And then here she go. Speaking of, niggas. This was the talk of the weekend, y'all. Klay Thompson. NBA star Klay Thompson has raised eyebrows on social media after unfollowing WNBA star Lexi Brown after being called out by Megan Thee Stallion for alleged infidelity. Megan did not explicitly name anyone in her viral IG story before confirming to TMZ that her romance with the Dallas Mavericks star is over. However, wild fan theories on social media have now pointed to Klay's distancing himself from Lexi, the Seattle Storm guard and 2019 WNBA champion, as online trackers spotted his unfollow hours ago. They said this girl was down to this close friends snitching too. Lexi has also locked her IG comment section in the last few hours amid the cheating allegation leveled against Thompson. Ciao. He unfollowed her. That's stupid. What was the people saying? They're just showing where he unfollowed her on Instagram. The NBA player is cheating on three names, singers, rappers every chance he gets. Yeah, his Google review said he was out here being a cheater anyway. I don't know. Klay Thompson has a reputation for cheating, first of all. Second of all, he is he's a high profile person. So these women are going to be out here trying to get at him. This girl, Lexi, said, I've seen what's being said online and I want it to be clear. None of this is true and I have no involvement in this situation. This week marks the start of an important and exciting new season for me, and my focus is on that. WNBA player Lexi Brown denies the rumors. Well, girl, how your name get in it? We'll see. So not only do you cheat with a whole WNBA player, and not only do you cheat with an WNBA player, you cheat with one averaging 2.1 per game. Ooh, girl, I would have turned my comments off too. Can anyone confirm the Lexi Brown thing, or is it just another one of those things y'all do? We don't know, child. We don't know if it's for sure, but her name is definitely in the mix. I mean, at the end of the day, Megan and Clay were only together for like 9 months. We're going to talk about that Lotus Egyptian flower. Let's see. You said you wished him the best, but Clay's dating history was not encouraging. That's what I said, Pac. They had already said this man was a cheater. So if the Google reviews are out, and I'm not blaming Meg, I'm just saying if the Google's reviews are out that this man is a cheater, then you should not have high expectations. They were dating for a year, maybe. They went public, 9 months ago. Lotus Egyptian flower, you say lesson learned, keep the relationship quiet. I had to think about that because I was like, these kids, not even just the kids, we as a whole, we live in a different world than we used to. Social media is a thing. These kids, like Megan's age, grew up with it for the most part, and it's just normal to post things. It's funny because I get posts from Facebook from years ago, and I was quoting some record or saying something crazy, and in my mind I'm like, what the heck was I even thinking about? You say his stock went up. I agree, T. His stock went up after he dated Meg, and he didn't know how to keep. I mean, this has been his reputation before he got with Meg. Back to what you said though, Lotus Egyptian flower. I think it's okay not to. I think it's okay to live out loud. These are two public people. So they were not just on social media. They were on red carpets together. It's alleged that they had purchased a home. We don't know if they went through, if they canceled, but there were pictures. I'm sure they've wiped everything from their social media at this point. There were the pictures of them with keys and all of that. That's a lot, first of all, for 9 months of a relationship. Megan Thee Stallion needs somebody to hold her hand and keep these niggas like at bay, for real. You know what I mean? It's okay to fall in love. I think she should just look at it as a memory, a good time that she had. Right now she's in a place of hurt, but I just feel like you should be allowed to post shit. I post not on a regular. I'm not talking about, we don't need to hear your whole life story. I see people that everywhere they eat and, if they fighting and carrying on, I don't want to hear your personal arguments. But if we go on a vacation together or if we're on a red carpet together, they're public people. If they don't post it, somebody will. So if they show up somewhere together, we just went on a trip to Jamaica. Everybody knows Meg Thee Stallion. And who is that man? That's Klay Thompson. So he wasn't, like Tamika said, I didn't know who he was, honestly. I'm sure I heard of him, but my eyes was not on him. But when he got with Meg, then of course, like T said, she raised his stock. His status went up. His reputation was already of a cheater. But I feel like if you're public, if you're Meg Thee Stallion and you're just living your life normal, I'm not even talking about posting on social media, but might as well, because it's already out there. You know what I'm saying? And it's, as a brand for both of them, people following and getting all up in their social media, that's money these days. So I can't be mad at that either. She shut that shit down publicly. So there you have that. And so now she got to stand on business. Clay is a solid player on the court, but he's goofy for this. Very goofy. And so is the other young lady. her name came up in it just randomly. I doubt that. And she just feeling the fallout from what had happened. Coco Jones is another one. He was with Coco Jones. Coco Jones is beautiful, but she's not Megan Thee Stallion famous. You said, oh. You said, I think he's going to do what Derek Jeter did, get married after he retires. I think that's what they should all do. Just run it until you retire and be in that life, single and free. And then won't nobody be saying nothing about it. He dropped the ball with Coco. I think these girls are better off without him, to be honest, because clearly he can't be faithful. And there's some other little girls out there. He was dating some non-melanated influencers or whatever. They say he cheated on them too. It's just all the girls that Clay been with says that he cheated. These guys need to stop. Just be a hoe and leave these women who want to be in relationships alone. I agree. Meg wanted love, and she's had a lot of loss. She still got people mad at her because she got shot in the foot. I'm never going to understand how I'm the victim and y'all are mad at me. I don't even know no Tory Lanez music for me to give a shit whether he sits in prison or not. And I've seen him be disrespectful to other people. Lesson equals WAP ain't gonna keep him faithful. I listen to Meg all the time. Like, she's definitely on my walking playlist a lot of the time. But in my mind, I'm like, girl, you saying all that stuff. She over there writing her name, spelling her name, and doing all the things. And hopefully, moving forward, Meg, take a break. But moving forward, all of these tricks that you're doing and, that you're claiming to do it for yourself. I'm not going to say don't do it, but do it for your own self, because, these hoes ain't loyal. They still in the streets when they retire. That's true, especially the ones who are, serial cheaters. It's just the kind of guy he is. And so, yeah, you have to go into get their whole facts. They be out there. She could have just Google reviewed him, and she would have found out that he was for fun only, not for taking home. You said, I don't like how they're attacking Meg behind the breakup. It seems like they just want to attack Meg. That's just no matter what she does. So, and I don't understand it. She must be diabolical behind the scenes, which, it's just one man after another. She needs some good, she needs some good time and some therapy. I'm not saying that she doesn't have it. Maybe she does. But, even though she's been through things, at some point, she's a young woman. She going to want to get out there and, enjoy life. And like I said, I hope that's what this was. Even though let it be a chapter, girl. She went to work right after and performed. So, that's the best thing for you as far as I'm concerned. Go get your money. Make you feel better. They die in the streets. Side chicks show up at the funeral. Show do and want to sit in the front and hold it next to the widow with their side baby. I hate to use the term side baby, but outside the marriage baby. Anyway, with all these vicious new sex diseases too. Hoeing is stupid. It ain't gonna stop. Unless the dick fall off, it ain't gonna stop. I'm sorry. That's just how blunt I had to be. Unless there's a disease. Who said that? That was Eddie Murphy. Unless there's a disease where the diggling just fall off, it ain't gonna stop. And even then, I think they gonna keep hoeing until the thing fall off. Met Gala next week. Glad she won't have to be on he won't be in none of those photos. I'm covering the Met Gala, El Cid. Are you covering the Met Gala? I think that's where I'm going to start over on my other channel. So Met Gala, I'll have all the links and everything for you, but we're going to start some hair and fashion over there. I mean, there's a little over there already, but officially. Cardi and Meg coming with another one. Ooh, they should go on tour together, like Chris Brown and what's his name? Usher. I had a little story about that. Let me go see. I'll go ahead and get that one out the way. So this happened. Ticketmaster Canada will no longer allow tickets for concerts, sports, and other live events in Ontario to be resold above their original price starting next week. I like that. I think that should be a thing because the people is out here trying to mortgage their homes and all kinds of things to go see Usher and Chris Brown. And maybe if they just sell them tickets, like, at no more profiting off of people. And then some of y'all are mad. Chris came to the internet to tell y'all Karens to bite it. The funniest and the weirdest shit ever to me is the fact that people have an opinion, have an option to come to my tour and the option not to. I know everyone who is a fan of me and Usher will definitely be in the building and it will be packed. It will. And just like last year, but I'm scrolling through Insta and TikTok and I come across rage bait pages. Oh, Chris, relax. Or these fake woke stand up for nothing pages bashing people for wanting to come have a good time. I mean, Chris, people have an opinion about you and you're going to just have to live with that. And every time you have a show, they're going to say, stop supporting him because he's an abuser and he's a colorist and all these things. So, and apparently he's a crash out. The dudes hating, I can't understand that. I think we gonna steal your girl. Well, we know that's not the case. But the Karens and the self-hating hoes, woo, child. Now I can't see. Get that out of there. Okay, it says, why does it do that? Blocking my view. The Karens and the self-hating hoes be making me laugh. I can't wait to rub this in y'all face. He said, y'all can bite it. Chris Brown did. He said, it doesn't matter what he does. Y'all will still be there to see the show. I think Megan and Cardi should do a show together. That would be so awesome. I won't mortgage my house for it, but yeah, I think that the ladies need to do the same thing that the men are doing. Yes. How about we be on the same page? Cardi and Meg should do a tour together. I don't know either of their music, but Cardi concert looked like it was a lot of fun with the surprise guest. I think so. I know some of their music. Like I said, I have them on my if you be on a I'm tired of these niggas mode, yeah, it's a good playlist. But did some of the stuff they say they're doing, you'd be like, oh, I'm not about to try that hard, girl. Like you said, none of those tricks is gonna keep a man anyway. So, move along at your own risk. Everybody be into something different. Megan is on Broadway and Moulin Rouge. You have tickets? Oh, when did you go to the show? Let us know, like, how the show was. I did see, like, she had to go ahead and perform right after she made that announcement. But being on Moulin Rouge on Broadway is only going to broaden her fan base. So, yeah, her and Cardi could definitely, that's enough time for Cardi to take a break. You know what I mean? Chris just came off tour and so did Usher. So I would love to see that. Everything don't require a response. Which thing are you talking about? Oh, you talking about Chris? He can't help it. He cannot help it because he's a hothead. And his response shows exactly what type of person he is. I happen to be a person who, when I hear cute Chris Brown music, I get caught up. I love the sound of his voice. I think this is going to be an amazing show. I won't be there. I'm not interested in spending that kind of money on tickets to see anyone, but I will be looking for it on TikTok in various places. I hope they do like Beyonce do. Y'all go ahead, Usher, Chris Brown, do a Netflix thing so, we can go back and watch it later because I watch Homecoming all the time. Her Coachella appearance. Speaking of Coachella, if y'all didn't go over there the other day, go check out Elsie's review of Coachella. She broke it down. The way they were spending money over there to be hot and sweaty in a desert for no damn reason is a mess. But yeah, we are here for the Cardi Megan tour. Let's do it. Let's see these ladies like combine and get their money the same way. And the house would be full. It would be interesting to see like who would make the most money. I think that they will. Who do you think is going to be supporting more? I don't know. I feel like whether they make the most money, it don't have to be a competition necessarily. But I would love to see that. Not everybody is mad at Megan. Some people think that your boy Klay Thompson is a fool because he what do they call it? He fumbled the bag. Some people think he fumbled the bag. Some people think he fumbled Megan. We all do, but there was like an unsuspecting character over here speaking on behalf of Megan. And I was like, what?
Very disappointed. I mean, Meg is a queen. She's hot. She's beautiful. Got her life together. Successful. And I'm sure Coochie is good. Like, what more do you want? What in the light skinness is going on with you? Why don't you be more like your other light skinned brother, Steph Curry? He's nice, faithful man. And I know I don't have the nerve. I know it's not the tea cutting the kettle black, but at least I drank my tea. Meg been through enough. Okay, this girl been shot at, but she moving on in life, and she finally felt like she found her a good man, and she found this nigga. This fucking light-skinned white nigga. He won a few championships now. He's torn ACL, broken fibula, busted butt cheeks. He want to cheat while he's halfway injured. You ain't shit, my nigga. Klay Thompson, I'm very disappointed.
It's bad when you're getting reprimanded by Michael Blackson. And I have a whole nother conversation by tomorrow about why are we allowing these ugly niggas to do us this way. Michael Blackson and what's her name? Router, whatever her name is, was over there sitting with Carlos King whining. And okay, so tomorrow, Michael Blackson, Trick Daddy, Akon, these open relationships and things, Candy and Todd. That's going to be the conversation for tomorrow. We're going to get into all of those things because he has the audacity to be coming over here saying anything to anyone, especially as it relates to relationships. Michael Blackson. We do not. I'm going to end on this one. So, Tony Braxton, come to the front and get your man because he's out here making it. You talk about Meg embarrassed. Tony, is this your husband or not? Because the Birdman was down to this concert. Child. Had to turn that music off. So the Birdman was down at a concert. You got Manny Fresh. I don't know these Cash Money people. I know that Birdman is asleep. What do you take? What kind of prescription are you on that you could stand there in the middle of a show and fall asleep? What is happening here? Where's Tamar? Can somebody come help him? I have never seen, I've seen videos, you know what I'm saying, on TikTok of the meth heads or whatever they be doing, kind of drugs they be doing. I'm not saying this man is on drugs. I'm just saying it's not normal to be performing in the middle of a concert. Did you fall asleep? Thank you, High Vibe. She said that's a fiend nod. Oh my God. Where's his cheerleader, Tamar? Down to the kitchen floor. I don't know, with the teeth that got knocked out of her head that we never, did figure out what was going on there. This man is knotted out. Knotted out. Tony, Tamar, this is your people. Anyway, y'all, that's where we're going to leave it today. Let me see. I usually have a little something fun before we walk on out this door. This young lady over here was tired. I don't know. She was tired of her daddy. He was left in charge. Ladies, be careful when you leave your husband in charge to babysit, because this can happen.
Olivia.
So when you're out running errands and your husband calls to tell you that your 3-year-old has locked him in the pantry. Lock the damn door. What would have happened if he didn't have his phone? We're gonna watch it one more time before we go.
Olivia.
What would have happened if he didn't have his phone? He in there with the snacks, but the baby's only 3 years old.
Olivia.
Imagine you're babysitting and your 3-year-old has locked you in the pantry. She said she locked the damn door. She don't know how to unlock the damn door. Mamas, be careful out here leaving these daddies in charge. Why is there a lock on the pantry? I don't know, just in case your daddy get on your nerves. He said the baby is using her tears already. She locked his ass in the door and she crying. And I want to know, like, since she knows how to lock the door, how come she doesn't know how to unlock the door? They don't want her to know how to unlock it. She'll be in there getting all the snacks. Well, or she can lock her daddy in there. He can get the snacks. Maybe he should share his snacks with her next time. Your dad would have busted the door down. I would have too, tried to get the thing out. I'm not going to stay in there. He just sitting there chilling. What did he do? Guess I better call my wife. And on that note, y'all, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I had fun with y'all today. I'll see you tomorrow at 10:15. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Bye, y'all.